Sup, sup, YouTube? It's been a minute. But your boy been out here on the grind and stuff, man. Very busy season this year. Very, very busy, and this is one of those rare days that I've been reluctant to have. Where I have a few hours of downtime to be able to drop this recording out to you. I've been wanting to do it for a minute now. But I finally got time to do it, and I'm glad it's right before the draft, because that's exactly what this is about. It's about my Cowboys and the draft talk, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna see how we're gonna finagle our way into through this draft process, starting is it tomorrow? Yeah, starting tomorrow. So I got a list of players that I'm interested in. It's a small draft board that I do have on as far as players go, because Cowboys we don't have a first round pick, so we only got like 6 picks or something like that. So yeah, so we gotta be very diligent, and I hope they have been very diligent and in finding those diamonds in the rough, those later round draft picks that can make an immediate impact, and particularly on the defensive side, because that's where my main focus is for Dallas this year. It's definitely from the defensive line to the backfield, you know what I'm saying, to the DBs. So I'm not gonna hold on any longer, and I don't care. I'm not going by their draft status and rankings and all that stuff. These are just players that I have taken interest in, watching their highlights and stuff like that. So I haven't had time to do any highlight reels just to kind of show you the player and all that stuff. Don't have time for it. So you're just gonna have to go with what I have written down, and just listen in, and hopefully my Cowboys will be listening in, or catch this video by the time I post it and going into the draft, and hopefully they choose some of the players that I prefer, you know what I'm saying, that I think will help out the team. Before I get really get into, I'm starting with this, before I really get into the position, player, name of player, and all that stuff in college and all that. Right now, with the first pick, our second round pick, one thing I thought the Cowboys should have done, because it's a very deep defensive draft. I thought Tyrone Crawford was good trade bait, you know what I'm saying, for maybe you might not have got a second round or nothing like that, but maybe third and the fifth, or fourth and the fifth round, you know what I'm saying, where you can find some quality picks, some quality players that could potentially start, or at least get on the field at those value picks. You know what I'm saying? That's where you find your players. You find those diamonds in the rough, man. I mean, whether they are solid, or they're solid, brinking on the verge of starter, or they starter with the potential to become a superstar. You know what I'm saying? A star. I'm gonna just not say superstar, but a star in the league, or just have a very consistent long NFL career. Especially I love the smaller schools. Those guys that's coming out of those smaller schools, because they tend to be your true diamond in the roughs. So with the second round pick, the Cowboys can pretty much choose best player available, to be honest with you, because I would rather for them to do that. In a sense, why is because you're gonna have some first rounders. You're going to still have some first rounders that fall into the second round, and you're going to have some second rounders that have first round draft stock, whatever. But they're going to go in the later rounds. They're going to second and down. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna still have some very high quality picks. So best player available, I'm fine with that. If y'all go this route throughout the whole draft, to be honest with you, but do please address two of the key issues. That is safety, strong safety. We need to find a hybrid. This is the year of the hybrids in the NFL, in the draft. It's a lot of hybrid strong safeties, safeties period, coming out this year's draft. So just choose wisely, choose the right one that'll fit, and choose the one that has a high ceiling, and that is coachable, you know, and also can make an immediate impact. How about that? And defensive line, D tackles. I know that. That's why I'll get this out of the way. I'm exhausted. So I know that we picked up some free agencies, but these are just like mercenaries. You know, they're for hire, and their contract could end next year. You know what I'm saying? Or next 2 years. They could be rentals. You know, so we need to draft definitely D tackles. So address those two issues. So let me go with some unlikelies. Let's just say I'm going to get these two out of the way, just because of the fact that they could be of good value down the road, or it could be serviceable. Let's go with a backup quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I know that we have Cooper Rush. I know that we have Mike White. You know what I'm saying? I think that's his name, Mike White, or something like whatever his name is. That's our third stringer. Cooper Rush, I don't know. But here we do have a pocket passer that knows that can really sit in the pocket and get that ball out. They're saying the knock on him, one of his weaknesses is that he don't have the arm strength, but yet he can make every throw. He can hit every throw with accuracy, even downfield. You know, those mid to mid long range passes. You know, that anywhere between that 10 to 25, 10 to, you know what I'm saying, somewhere in that range. That is no other than Boise State quarterback Brett Rypien. And if he is the son or related to Mark Rypien, so you know that he probably has been under their tutelage for a while. So yeah, that's definitely someone. And now let's go with the running back, because I thought that Rod Smith could have been good trade bait for a fourth, between the 4th and 6th round, you know, or well, just say 3rd and 6th round, because I think he has the potential to be a starter, you know. And I thought that we could have traded with Green Bay, someone that needed a running back, and not only a running back out the backfield, but a running back that can catch out of the backfield too. And he has good speed, you know. He's pretty solid, you know what I'm saying. And they just need someone to be consistent. That's all Green Bay need. And I thought Rod Smith could have done that. But anyway, it's all about business, you know, and making this team better, you know. But Rod Smith is a hell of a backup for Zeke. That's nice. But I like another Boise State alum, Alex Madison. You know, he has good size. He's like 5'11", 220, something like that. He's very balanced. He can lower his shoulder, or he can make you miss, and he has good speed too. So I think that will be. You should watch some of the tape on him. He's solid. You know, I think he could groom. He'd be a good backup. Just like Brett Rypien, he could be a good backup. You know what I'm saying? With the content that I read about him, you know, can stand in the pocket, can hit throws accurately, you know, hit players right in stride, you know, but he lacks arm strength. Arm strength can be increased. You can increase your arm strength. It's hard to teach accuracy. It's either you're accurate or you're not. You know what I'm saying? You have the vision or you don't. It's one of the two. So let's get those two out the way. Okay. Now I want to get to the meat and potatoes of my draft stock, you know what I'm saying, of my draftees going into this year's draft starting tomorrow afternoon, evening, whatever. Okay, let's go with safeties. Now, I'm just gonna call them off. Y'all, man, some of y'all Cowboy fans out there has probably already named some of these guys. I did put one out a month or 2 months ago about Thornhill, and I probably talked about Nasir Adderley and Taylor Rapp. So I've added to that list. If I think those three names were mentioned, you know what I'm saying. But I still have them. I have Thornhill as my top safety, to be honest with you. I do, and maybe I'm being a little biased because I'm from Virginia, so he played for UVA, but he is a freak of nature athletically, and he's also intelligent too, and very instinctive. Has very good instincts in playing safety. He can also guard the slot, just like most of these safeties. I can play slot and all of that stuff. So, but also can cover tight ends and stuff like that. So let's not hold it back. I'm just gonna call out some of these safeties' names. Of course, I just got Thornhill, Adderley, Taylor Rapp. That's UVA, Delaware, and University of Washington. I like their size. I like their height. They're right there, but they have all of those are like at the top end of the list. When you break them down by position, those are at the top. So, but also from Alabama, Deontay Thompson. He's about 6'2", 6'3", long arms. Pretty fast and closing the gap. Well, he's very rangy. You know what I'm saying? I think he would be a very good fit for us as well. Because I choose a ball hawk. That's why I say hybrids, is because they can also, all these guys can play in the box. Even though they might struggle with it because they are rookies. There will be rookies coming in, and this is the NFL, but they are going to struggle. So you can expect it, but they can play downhill very well, all of them. So I got Deontay Thomas from Alabama. The next one is what's his name? Oh yeah, Shawnee Gardner Johnson, Florida. Very underrated, wonderful talent. He's very speedy, rangy. He might get swallowed up every now and then on shedding blocks and playing downhill at times, but he's very sneaky in coverage, and that is something to watch out for. Another one, Jonathan Abrams from Mississippi State. Yeah, he's looked like he could be solid too. I like the conference they're coming out of, especially the last three that I named. They all coming out the SEC, so good competition. But all of them are hybrid safeties, strong safeties, and all of them are very adaptive to playing the slot. So, but he's just another one, and one of my dark horses. And nobody's talking about him, but I can see him. He's undersized a little bit as far as weight and all of that stuff, but he can bowl, and he has very deceptive speed. That's how he fooled a lot of. Anyway, sorry about that. But yeah, Darnell Savage Jr. out of Maryland. Let's get back to it. Darnell Savage Jr. out of Maryland. He might be a sleeper. He might be a sleeper on a few radars, but this brother could be a special talent. I think him and Thornhill could really be special talent, but definitely Darnell Savage out of Maryland. Okay. So we got Thornhill out of UVA, Adderley out of Delaware, Rapp out of Washington State or out of Washington, Deontay Thomas out of Alabama, Shaughnessy Gardner Johnson out of Florida, Jonathan Abram out of Mississippi State, and Darnell Savage Jr. out of Maryland. As far as my safeties go, to potentially take a look at or drafting in this year's draft. Okay, so let's go with D-line. Very short list. Let's go. My criteria: I want them over 6 foot, and I want them over 300 pounds, and I want them to be to have good strength. You know, reps on the bar. Put up those numbers, but also have some quickness and suddenness about them. And everyone in this short list that I have, which is only 4, has those traits. You know, to be a big guy, to be explosive off the ball, stop the run, and can be a force to be reckoned with coming up the middle. You know. Okay, so at the top of this is no any order, to be honest with you, but Gerald Willis out of Miami. Yeah, I like him. He's solid. I like Miami players. They've been slept on these last few years since they've been in this slump of not being, having these all these top prospects coming in, going in the top 10, the top 20, top 25 in the draft. Those days have been long gone for now, but yet there's still some quality coming out of Miami, and this guy could be one of them. That's Gerald Willis out of Miami. A dark horse, small school, Colin Saunders, freak athlete to be 300, and I think he's 12 pounds, something like it. Might be 20. It could be somewhere in that range, between the teens and the early 20s. So, but he ran a 4.9, and the reps, it was like, I forgot how many reps it was, but it was up there in his reps. But he has some wiggle about him too, so he could be very disruptive, be very hard to block because he knows how to use his hands well, and all of these guys pretty much do. But he can move though. He can get skinny on the O lineman and get to the quarterback or stop the run. Second one, Dontavius Russell out of Auburn. Yes, SEC player, know how to use his hands well. He has a nice size about him. Can be explosive, but all of that, but still, all these guys can be refined to know how to hone their craft a little better. Another one is Rennell Wilson out of Arizona State. That's my last defensive lineman. I didn't see many edge rushers because my criteria is like, 6'2", between 6'2" and 6'6", 275 pounds and up. That's the type of defense. 260. I say 260 and up. That's my type of defensive edge rusher. You know what I'm saying? Someone that's big but they can play skinny, but has the strength to also stop the run. Okay, now linebackers. This is the last category, and I have some words afterwards. Linebackers that we could potentially use, because that could be another spot on the defense that could be shored up. Nothing against Wilson at all, but there's a chance to upgrade the position, even though Wilson may be the starter, but you have this backup coming in that's a lot faster and maybe have a different skill set, like pass coverage and stuff like that, opposite of just subbing Wilson. So let's go with Jermaine Pratt out of NC State. Good size. He's about that 6'2", 6'3". I think he's 230, 240-ish, somewhere in that range. Good sideline to sideline, down the hill, but he can also blitz too. I think that we could definitely use someone with those kind of skill sets. Cameron Smith out of USC, sleeper, very sleeper. he might not even he could fall, you know, out of the draft maybe. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these guys are very low draft picks, you know, or mid range, and I think Cameron is in the mid. He probably get picked up though. He was a pretty solid player after electing to come back his senior year, and he had a very good season, you know. And a sleeper from a small school, Khalil Hodge out of Buffalo. Well, you know we already got Khalil Mack. You know we got Khalil Mack. You know, Khalil Mack came out of Buffalo, so anything coming out of Buffalo might be worth taking a look at. And this guy has good size. He's about 240. Hell of a 40 time. Very rangy from sideline to sideline, and can play pass coverage. So I like speed. Speed has to be speed, size, and strength. If I get size and strength, and hopefully he has, and hopefully hopefully he has the speed to go along with it. Another one I'm gonna add to it, but he's a little slower. But Trey Lamar out of Clemson. You know, he's about 6'2", 253 pounds. You know, he's a little limited sideline to sideline, but it's not saying that he can't. But that could be improved upon, working on your agility and, you know, your burst, but also up here, because when you got it up here, you play a lot faster, and you play a lot faster, and you don't even know that you're playing that fast. You know what I'm saying? So that can come with time. You know. So. Now at the end, with any of these draft picks, 2 through 7, we can show up our offensive line. There are some wide receivers that I was looking at, like Deebo Samuels. You know what I'm saying? I like him in the later rounds and stuff like that. Maybe a tight end, I don't know, but I doubt that. But so we can focus on getting the extra offensive line to help fill in, but that has very good potential, because we don't know what Frederick's situation is going to be. It could be our situation could be the same as last season or whatnot. So yeah, that's it. So let's do a recap. Just random picks. Brett Rippon out of Boise State. Alex Madison out of Boise State. Safeties, Thornhill, UVA. Adderley, Delaware. Rapp, Washington. Deontay Thomas, Alabama. Gardner Johnson out of Florida. Abram out of Mississippi State. Savage out of Maryland. Linebackers, Jermaine Pratt out of NC State. Cameron Smith, USC. Khalil Hodge out of Buffalo. Defensive lineman, Gerald Willis, Miami. Colin Sanders, Wilford. Dontavius Russell, Auburn. Rennell Wilson, Arizona State. So I'm about to lay it down, guys. I just wanted to go through that real quick, and let's see what the draft choices are going to be tomorrow night, and it's going to be exciting. So this is Tone Setter Sports. Peace. I'm out.